Alright, so number 3. Number 3 says we've got a cube root function, and it has this negative on the exterior, which means there's a reflection. So we're going to start with that first. So keeping in mind what a cube root looks like. A cube root normally looks like this. But when you have a reflection over this is on the outside, so it's a reflection over the x, then this will go down here, and this will go up here. So in fact, we're going to be dealing with a cube root that looks like this, okay? So keeping that in mind, that's how I'm going to draw my pattern. So I'm going to use as a reminder to draw my pattern. As far as transformations go, we do have a flip over the x. The 3 is on the exterior, so that's a vertical stretch by a factor of 3. We've got minus 2 on the interior, which means go to the right 2, and then plus 4 on the exterior, which means up 4. So I know I'm going to take my cube root function that looks like this, and I'm going to shift it to the right 2 and up 4. And I'm going to apply my pattern because in drawing my pattern like this, going to the left and up and to the right and down, I've already applied the flip, and then the vertical stretch by factor of 3 means when I go to the right 1 and down 1, instead of going down 1, we're going to go down 3. When I go to the right or the left 1 and go up 1, we're actually going to go up 3. So it's a vertical stretch. Okay. It is a cube root, keeping that in mind. So as far as like what's the next one? Is it 2, 8, or 8, 2? Well, I can take the cube root of 8 and I get 2. I can take the cube root of negative 8 and get negative 2. But with the flip, it changes. So again, it's a vertical stretch. So this 2 becomes, by a factor of 3, that becomes 6, and this becomes 6. I'm not going to be able to see going over 27, so these are the only points I'm going to attempt to sketch. Okay, so I'm going to go to the right 1 and down 3. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to go to the right 8 and go down 6. Now, I'm at 2, so plus 8 is 10, so I can just go ahead and jump over here and go down 6 from 4, that's at negative 2. Okay, so keeping in mind, we just drew this portion of our cube root, so it should look like this. Okay, then I'm going to go left 1 and up 3. And then I'm going to go left 8 and up 6. So I'm at 2, so to the left 8 is negative 6. And then up 6 from 4, that's at 10. Okay. I'll have to turn the page so I can make my sweeping motion quickly. And there we go. So I've got this point, the center. So there's my original function. Let's go ahead and find the inverse. So x equals negative 3 times the cube root of x minus 2 plus 4. So first thing I'm going to do is subtract 4. X minus 4 equals negative 3 times the cube root of x minus 2. Next, we're going to divide by negative 3, but here's the thing. I don't mind, you're not wrong if you put this. You're not wrong at all. But I will say mathematically, we do not leave negatives in the denominator. And I'd rather just write it like negative 1/3 times x minus 4 equals the cube root of x minus 2. It's more indicative of the transformations that are occurring. So the next thing we need to raise both sides to the power of 3. So all of that is inside of subspaces now. So negative 1/3 x minus 4 quantity cubed equals x minus 2. So the last step is going to be to subtract that 2 over. So I've got f inverse equals negative 1/3 times x minus 4 quantity cubed plus 2. So that's my inverse. And then as far as that goes, transformations, we've got a negative on the interior. That is a reflection over the y-axis. We've got a 1/3 on the interior. That's a horizontal stretch by a factor of 3, do the reciprocal. We've got a -4 in the interior, which means go right 4, and we've got a +2, which means go up 2. So we're going to go right 4, up 2, and put our center point. So I'm going to go right 4, up 2. And that mimics that center point. This is a 2, 4, this is a 4, 2, right? I'm going to go ahead and remind of the pattern. So this is a cubic, which normally looks like this. But we have a reflection over the y-axis, so this will reflect over here, and so we're actually looking at this one right here. So if I were to draw the pattern, it would be over 1 instead of up 1, down 1. And remember, it's a cubic, so 2 cubed is 8. 1 cubed is 1. 2 cubed is 8. Okay, we've got a vertical stretch by a factor of 3, so oh, sorry. We have a vertical stretch, we have a horizontal stretch. We have a horizontal stretch by a factor of 3, so that means to the right 3 and down 1, to the right 6 and down 8, to the left 3 and up 1, to the left 6 and up 8. But again, I could just use my coordinate points and flip them to graph. As it is, I'm going to go to the right 3 and down 1. So if I go to the right 3, 1, 2, 3, down 1. And to the right 6 and down 8. To the right 6 from 4 is 10 and down 8 from 2 is -6. Okay. To the left 3 and up 1. To the left 3 from the center point 1, 2, 3, up 1. And to the left 6 and up 8. So I'm at 4, left 6 would be -2, up 8, and 2 would be 10. Okay. So I've got this going on. And those two look like reflections across the diagonal. So we're good. Okay. We have our inverses, we have the transformations. There we go. How do y'all feel about these first 3? Do we feel confident about sketching them without a calculator? Using our transformations? Okay. Which one? On number 3, so normally it's a cube root looks like it starts from 4 and goes up, right? But see, I reflected over the x, so this now is down here and this is up there. So that's why it looks like this. Cool. Okay. All right. Oh, we have another one. Okay. I'm actually going to go. Okay. So this is kind of interesting because it has stuff going on in the interior, but you have to remember to factor out everything on the interior in front of the x in order to see transformations. So in fact, we're going to factor out a -1/3. Okay, so when you factor out a -1/3, that's like dividing, right? A -1/3 x divided by -1/3 is just x. But 1 divided by a -1/3 is equivalent to 1 times -3/1, which means that this is equivalent to just -3. And remember, if you're unsure about whether or not that is how it works out, just remember you can redistribute. If you don't get a +1 when you distribute this to this, then it's not correct. Okay? Okay. So, as far as transformations go, I know I'm going to go flip over the y, because I'm negative on the interior. I've got a horizontal stretch by a factor of 3. I've got go to the right 3, and I've got go up 2. So, okay. I think this is going to be very similar to the one we just did. Yeah, like almost just like it. Interesting. I don't know why I did that twice. Well, that's kind of boring. So, I'm going to find the inverse and then I'll sketch them, but I'm going to do it quickly because we just did that. Write 3 up 2. Write 3 up 2. It's a cubic, so normally like this, but it's flipped over. So now it does that. Pattern wise, I go 1, 1, that's cubic, so 2 cubed is 8. 1 cubed is 1, and 2 cubed is 8. And then horizontal stretch by a factor of 3. So horizontally, this is going to be a 30, and this is going to be a 6. This is going to be a 30, and this is going to be a 6. So I'm going to go to the right 3, down 1, and to the right 6, down 8. 1, and then 2, so negative 6. Left 3 up 1, left 6 up 8. From the center point, I'm at 3, so it'll be negative 3 up 8 from 2 is 10. Sorry guys, that this 3 and 4 are basically the same problem. I must have changed one of them and not changed the other. Or not noticed. Okay, finding the inverse. X equals negative 1/3 y plus 1 part of the cubed plus 2. You could use this form in order to find the inverse. It's just up to you. Okay, so if I subtract the 2, and the next thing I do is take the cubed root. So much of the cubed root of x minus 2 equals negative 1/3 y plus 1. Next thing we're going to do is subtract the 1. So the cubed root of x minus 2 minus 1. And then to undo the division or the multiplication by negative 1/3, we're going to multiply by negative 30, the reciprocal. But remember, we're going to multiply everything by negative 30. So this minus this, so we distribute it to that. So this goes out front. Negative 3 times the cubed root of x minus 2, and negative 3 times negative 1 is plus 30. Equals f inverse. Okay, so as far as transformations go, we've got reflect over the x-axis, vertical stretch by a factor of 3 because of 3 out front, to the right 2, and up 3. But I'm just going to go ahead and plot it using switching the x coordinates and the y coordinates. This is the coordinate point 3, 2, so I'm going to go to point 2, 3. This is the coordinate point 6, 1, so I'm going to go to coordinate point 1, 6. This is the coordinate point 9, negative 6, so I'm going to go negative 6, 9. Negative 6, 9. This is the coordinate point 0, 3, so I'm going to go 3, 0. And this is the coordinate point negative 10, so I'm going to go 10, 2, 3. Keeping in mind that my graph should look like a cube root, and the reason why it does this shape is because it's flipped over the y-axis, or x-axis. No. I just drew that and no one corrected me. Okay, this on that side, it flips over the x-axis. That was almost abysmal. Okay, here we go. Although they end up doing the same thing. It's correct here. Label it. And so flip over the x. So there we go. Okay. Alright. Okay, I'm going to end the video and start a new one in just a second.